Okay, let's rig a couple of these puppies up and we'll show you a variety of ways to rig the different baits. First one we're going to do is an exposed jig rig on a 6-inch hollow belly using the new backbone jig with the grub keepers designed expressly for these baits. Conventional round grub keepers don't stay in these like this one does because it's hollow. You need this style of jig. Okay, lay your jig along the bait. You know where the hook point's got to come out the back, so we put a little nick in the back of the bait. It's hollow, so it's got to come through the ring, don't matter. Very simply, just stick it in the nose. It's a hollow bait. You'll get to the point where you don't even need to nick the back of them. You just run it down, drag that hook point out, slide the bait up over the jig, grub keeper, and there you have an exposed jig rig. Very important for things with big mouths, barramundi especially. You'll get much more hookups on this style of rig than you will on a weedless rig, which we're going to do shortly. This is the preferred way to rig these baits if you're in open water and you want more hookups. Okay, the second rig we're going to do is the weedless rig. For fishing, when you're going to be pitching your baits into really bad cover, thick weeds, snags, and you want to be able to get it out without fouling up but still get the bites. So this time we take one of the jungle hooks. This is a 7.0 monster made expressly for the 6-inch hollow belly. Very simple again, just lay it on there. You know where the hook needs to come out. With this one, bury it in the nose. You want to come out about nearly a centimetre maybe under the throat. I like to wet that because it'll just help slide through that plastic. Turn it round. You can see there where it needs to come out. Just a matter then of pinning that straight up through the back of the bait, and we've got a weedless rigged 6-inch hollow belly. The other thing that I like to do with that is just pull that forward and just pin that bait, that point, under the skin of the bait, and that'll just get you through the weeds a little bit easier. But when you get the bite, it exposes very easily and you got him on. That's the weedless rig for all the hollow bellies. The little 3-inch jerk shad hollow belly, you can rig that in a different way. You can use a conventional jig on it if you want to, the normal nitro style of jig in an appropriate size, of course. That will work on these because there's a little bit more meat in the head, but you can center weight these as well. Just using a nitro torpedo jig. You want to put the hook in on the right side, just a little back from the eyes. Takes a little bit of rigging this one, but it is worthwhile. And work that hook point right down through the cavity until you're almost at the back of the cavity. Bring it out. Helps to wet it. Okay, what we're trying to do here is bring that bait right forward and get that in there. There you go. The torpedo weight is inside the bait. The toe points from the top of the head. The hook is well exposed. It'll swim with a slight head down action, but you still get a little bit of wiggle on the tail. With the jerk shad style, you do need to use a bit of rod tip to impart the correct action. But the 3-inch and the 5-inch can be rigged centre weighted or with a conventional jig because, as I said, there's a little bit more meat in the head of these and they do hang on better. So that's how you rig your jerk shad hollow belly baits. But don't forget, for all of the information on the Berkley hollow belly baits and the other things under the Pure Fishing banner, go to purefishing.com.au, check it out. You'll see this and a whole lot more.